For the millions of working women in the world's leading cities, daily life is often shaped by what they cannot do and how they're excluded. A Bloomberg analysis of how 15 global cities rank for career women shows each failing in several ways. Joining us now is our Business Week editor, Rebecca Penty. Rebecca, so let's first start off with this index itself. How is it developed? What does it show us?
So this is an index that takes a look at the top global cities for business based on how they fare for equality for women. So we take into account things like safety, wealth, maternity provisions, mobility, equality, and rank these cities. And what we've found is that while there has been some progress, there are stubborn, unyielding changes that mean that women are left out of the top ranks of power in companies, in leadership positions, and therefore in society at large.
Yeah, one of the reasons this is so fascinating, because it's one of the first times that we've seen all of these cities together using very similar metrics. So how did the cities shape up in the ranking?
So Toronto came out at the top of the pack, but that's really not saying that much. It scored a 3.66 out of a possible 5. The rest of the cities fell in behind. Sao Paulo was at the bottom of the pack. Toronto, for example, was held back because of its lack of mobility. It has an old, aging subway system, so it's difficult for women to get to work.
And of course, I know the reporting for this took place over several months, and those months really marred by the pandemic. What has that impact been on the ranking, on gender equality in these cities?
So the pandemic had a leveling effect. Unfortunately, what it means is that everywhere women have been falling behind, and that's because women still bear the brunt of childcare. If they're also mothers, they've had to leave the workforce or step back in their careers, and also the types of jobs that have been most affected by the pandemic have largely been jobs that women occupy in greater numbers.
All right, so what did this teach us, finally, Rebecca, about what needs to be done for the cities that ranked low? What do they have to do to get up in these rankings?
Well, I think what we found is that in cities where, for example, safety is seen as a positive, as a plus, generally Asian cities like Tokyo, Seoul, Hong Kong, it's there where women are held back in managerial roles. In Japan, only 13% of management roles are women, and that's largely due to the fact that the maternity provisions aren't good. Fathers aren't encouraged to take paternity leave. So I think in the cities where they get things right in Europe, where there are positive maternity provisions, they lack on safety.